monster. We're just having a little discussion. I know we'll probably continue on with that in a little bit about the NFL Hall of Fame that's coming up, and we're just having a little clip with Peppers on here. So
get him back in.
Well,
Get him back in.
They couldn't see it.
yeah, I didn't figure they could. I was just telling what was watching, and I'm sure people remember it.
But, yeah,
I definitely do.
I was at that game. Terry, I had one more baseball. I didn't show it, but Ron Luciano umpired American League for 11 years. Said he never called a balk in his life. He said, I didn't understand the rule.
Well, there you go.
That's what you want to hear from a major league.
There you go.
That's why you
At
go
least
to
he's
umpire.
honest.
That's why you go to umpire meetings, right, Terry?
That's it.
Sit for
Yeah.
4 hours and don't learn nothing.
That's it. Oh, it's okay. Or you sit there while we're arguing a play that is common sense, you know? Never mind. Okay.
Or you tell everybody you're going to get a bath and a haircut.
Or you get up and you say, you know what? It's a restroom break time.
All right, Terry, I'll let you choose. We're going to do basketball. You want college or NBA first?
Let's go college. Let's do
We're gonna
college.
do college
Let's
first.
do college.
Well, this week, Clemson clinched a spot in the NCAA tournament with their win over North Carolina.
They
didn't
did. They did.
So
I think Clemson's in it no matter what happens.
They
to
should
them.
have.
that's what I was about to say.
But
Wait a minute, they're still.
I am so
they're
sorry.
still
You
10th.
know?
They're still 10th place.
Yeah.
And
They got to jump over all them teams in front of them.
according to Lenardi,
Hey, we got 4 in now.
the ACC now has 4
Yeah,
because they
Virginia.
couldn't ignore Virginia.
Yeah.
But the thing is, let me find it. The Big 12 has 10.
Yeah.
Out of their 14 teams.
I mean, I got a lot to say.
I think there's
Hey,
something.
if I'm the czar of college basketball, start off to get in the tournament. Must have 20 wins. Must be 500 above in your conference.
In your conference.
Is that hard to be a baseline?
No, that's a good metric.
Okay. Then we'll go from there. Then you can have your little arguments over your little value of wins or however you want to do your metrics. But can we at least get over 500 teams in your conference? I mean, that's ridiculous that you'd take someone under 500 in their conference and do the 10th place team. What tournament are they going to win? What tournament is that 10th place team in the Big 12 going to win? They're not winning the NIT. Are you telling me you're going to put them in, they're going to roll through the NIT? Come on, meow. Pull that out on them. Terry, I mean.
Do one of them Bob Knight things, man. You just don't go to it.
Yeah.
Hey, let me get to NIT. That's where I'm going. Oh, Lordy, now we got beat.
Yeah.
I don't
You
know.
go to the NIT, you better win the
I
whole
don't
thing.
know. I mean, that's like, you speak of ACC basketball, and every time you think they're going to make the jump to be part of the squad that's going to get in the NCAA, then they lose a game. That's like state, man. We win 2 games at home. We got our 3rd game at home playing Pittsburgh, and we come out and we blow the game and we get beat 67-64.
Well,
And I'm like, those are the games that you cannot lose because now you have a must-win today going to waste.
Well, if you let Burns eat a bunch of Twinkies.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm getting, well, there are some games. That's like the game, and I'll go back to when they played Virginia. We had taken him out. And don't get me wrong, I like Burns. I think he's
I
a
do
great
too.
athlete.
He looks like he eat Big Baby Davis.
Yeah, and I mean, he's one of them guys who's going to keep everybody up. You're highly motivated when he's out there to play.
What's that thing?
Everybody likes him.
What did Shaq say
You know.
about Zion? Then it looks like Chuck and I had a baby together.
Yeah. But State's put themselves in a bad spot now.
They have, and they've got a decent team.
They got to win. They got to beat Wake. They got to come back
But
after you losing
With
the pit.
what
and beat
Kevin's
Wake.
saying, I mean, they ain't doing. I mean, they're not doing us right.
How did the
I
ACC
think-
get to this? And
I
why
think it's-
is
Do
there-
you think?
I think it's a
the
vendetta.
NCAA
It's a
I do.
downfall of
I
the
do.
ACC. I just think it's a total
I do
all
too.
downfall.
Do you think that they're?
And I think it has football implications.
That's
Yes.
right. Do you think?
I'm 100% sure of that.
Do you think they're trying to destroy them?
Yes.
Yes.
Purposely.
Yes.
Yes.
The NCAA.
Because we're a
Yes.
basketball conference. We just
Yes.
be honest about it.
Yep.
And we get the basketball conference destroyed, then the football can do what it wants to do because it makes
I
the
know
money.
you're going to have these other people, though, look at us and say, ACC used to get 8 to 10.
Yeah.
They're going to say that every time, and you're right.
Well, we proved it.
But
I went back
the
20
ACC, think of all the NCAA championships we have. Think of all the NCAA wins we have. I guarantee the Big 12's nowhere near it.
And when we have our
16,000
4 in, we're going to be in the finals.
And you take Kansas out of the Big 12, and what do they got left?
Yeah, there you go.
So here real quick.
They're as top heavy as the ACC is,
The Big 12, according to
or as they claim the ACC is, I should say. Excuse me.
the Big 12, according to the geniuses, are 10 teams in the 68 team tournament. right now they have BYU is and see, this is the part of the college system that stinks, is that the rankings, and you start off, Terry, and I know you're one of the kind of proponents that, but you don't lose your spot, but BYU is now 3, 6, 9, 10th in their conference, right? 3, 6, 9, 10th, and they're ranked 21st in the nation.
Got a losing record in a conference.
They're losing record. So
they deserve to be in.
So Oklahoma, so BYU at 4-5. Oklahoma's at 5-5. Oklahoma's at 17 wins and 6 losses. BYU's at 16 wins and 6 losses. BYU's ranked 21st, and Oklahoma's not.
No. BYU deserves to be in there.
For why?
They beat State.
Oh, there we go. Jeez.
Wow.
But
I think
but what is
and going back to last week, the point we made last week, I do think when the ACC expanded, with the exception of Syracuse and at the time Louisville, the teams that we brought in were to try to expand our football profile. And in doing so, we may have – now, Miami, surprisingly, with Larinaga, made some good runs basketball-wise after that move. But there could be the argument made that diminished the overall product by bringing in other schools that traditionally are not basketball powerhouses.
Why would you say that, Chip? You brought in Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
They have national championships. Louisville has national championships. We really upped our basketball.
And Notre Dame came in at the time. Notre Dame came in; they had a pretty decent, basketball program.
Mm-hmm. I think we upped our basketball coming in.
Again, I would agree.
He's not. Well, no.
He's saying he done it for the football.
The original expansion was for football.
That's what he was saying, for the football.
And I think the next one was for basketball with the Louisvilles and the rest of them.
And I think it's an optics thing too. I think it's the powers that be, whatever you want to say, they're using that as ammo. They're saying that the competition of the ACC is diminished at that point.
The one that blew my mind was Maryland leaving.
Yeah, and because I'm like you guys, more like
has Maryland ever won a Big Ten? No, not even come close. They'd have been better off staying in ACC.
But they get it. But how much more? Because they're in the Big Ten, correct? How much more of a payout do they get being EB in the Big Ten? For them, it's much more profitable.
It probably is.
But I mean, how they were competitive.
All right, Terry, did you see this play?
Gosh, Gary Williams, man, that was.
I don't even know the teams. It's KU versus ESU. If we can figure it out, good luck. But watch this play and see if y'all have any of y'all seen this?
Mm-mm.
Okay, watch this play and if y'all can figure out what happened. I might be able. We can do sound. We're not going to do sound on this. All right. So inbound play.
You can't take it out of his hand.
We got a steal and a score.
Can you take it out of his hands if it crosses the inbounds line?
Now we have the issue.
Because he put that in front of him.
But he's out of bounds.
Zach just,
by the time he touches it, somebody's out of bounds.
Zach just made the point of what this play ended up being.
No, you can't
called.
do that. You cannot take it out of his hand.
So that's the question.
Even if it crosses,
he's out of bounds.
Well,
somebody's out of bounds when it's touched.
Well, Zach,
that makes sense.
That
makes sense.
I know that, and I'm glad you're there.
Yeah.
Zach is saying, and what Zach's saying is that that's the argument, is that because he put the ball over the line,
it's still not in.
That he took the ball, that the player inbounded the ball with like that by doing that. So I don't know the actual. And when I said I have never read that particular as far as the basketball rules. So I wouldn't even know if that was logical. Because that's what I wanted Terry to see that.
But I agree with Terry. He's standing outside. He's standing out of bounds.
Somebody's out of bounds when he touched it.
But when golly,
either way,
you cannot, like, if I'm taking it out of bounds, I cannot give it to my player by just handing it to him because I'm still out of bounds.
Yeah, because as soon as he touches it,
if this is right, Kutztown University against East Stroudsburg.
Okay,
that's to answer the question. that was on everybody's mind.
That's as good as you could get.
Yeah.
Let's see. Here's some of the comments. Out of bounds as soon as he touches it.
Yeah.
LOL. Terrible officiating.
And I think that's what Terry's calling.
I don't see how. Yeah, I don't see how that's legitimate. If that ball's not in play yet, touching
it's got to leave his hand.
Yeah. According to NBA FIBA high school college rule, it's not in play until it releases the ball. Thus, the sneak steal is not allowed.
That is so simple.
I thought so too. Like,
Yeah.
but he let it happen, and this is just.
I mean, it happens at our games over here.
That was
I
a
have
college
kids
game.
that try to give it to them. You cannot do that.
All right, random question. Let's say the inbound, they release it, it lands, it bounces out of bounds still. Is that automatically out of bounds to the other
That's
team?
still out. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got to
okay.
come in.
Okay.
That's like taking it out of bounds. You can't bounce it out of bounds for it to go in.
And I'm, now somebody,
You know what I'm saying?
If they let go, somebody could catch it before it touches the ground. But if they let it go and it touches out of bounds, that's out of bounds.
Yeah.
To
So
the other team.
I've got another question for you later. I got to go down. I've got to upload the video so Terry can see it because it happened this week and I ain't got it uploaded yet because it's kind of a legalized question like this. We'll get to later, but remember that in the head. I still don't know what I'm watching on this. I'm gonna watch this a couple times. Does anyone know what I'm watching? It's I'm supposed to be watching something bad here, and I don't know what I'm watching. Anybody see anything? Do anything weird? I'm looking at coaches, refs. I don't see anything. Whatever. Anyway, it just said like what a dirty play was the comment. So I was trying to figure out what was going on that one. So I didn't even have anything on that. Let's see. All right. Well, let's see that. I want to get back to that one. Remember Dartmouth. Did you see the Dartmouth stuff, by the way? Okay. This is Notre Dame, and well, if it'll maybe come up. This is Notre Dame and Duke. Speaking of calls, Terry, did he travel here?
Let's show it again. Yeah.
If it was Wimby on, I'd say no, but yeah.
Oh my Lord!
Not in Cameron, he didn't. Not in Cameron, he didn't.
How
took
can
four-
you
I think he
not
took four.
call that? Look at this.
1, 2, 3, 4,
No, that's like
5.
seven.
Wow.
And they let it go. These are ACC officials. If that counts,
One.
So
He's picked to dribble up.
yeah, right here.
Three.
One.
Next step.
Next
in
step.
two steps, he
Next
done
step.
lays it in.
1, 2,
4, 5, 6. I mean, that's like 6 or 7.
Ugh.
And the guy over there to the side, he's been in ACC forever. I don't know his name, but he's been in there forever.
Duke Blue Devils, ladies and gentlemen. Gosh.
I would
maybe-
have went crazy if I was a coach.
Kurgis must be proud. Thanks, John. Good job, Shire.
All right.
Well, maybe he's a nice old man with a really, really bad memory.
Investigators. Was he off balance or was this on purpose? Arizona makes the layup.
I'm sorry.
What I missed?
Whoops, I'm sorry.
Wow.
He just pushed it off a fan, Zach. Keeping his balance.
He looked at her for 5 seconds before he did that. What in the world?
All right, Terry. My question is, do the players
She's just in the way.
I play basketball. They had to have had a bet on the bench that somebody do this. I'm telling you, that's my thought.
Well, he won.
Some dude sitting on the bench said, "Man, $50 is the first one that does that. 100. Somebody did that. Jordan's. I'll give you my name, image, and likeness this week if the first one that does that.
I'll give you my paycheck for this week from the booster.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so Terry, your judgment on purpose. You're the ref. On purpose or accident?
I'm probably at this point not even watching him. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm asking you to judge now.
I'm not judging that.
Let's send it to New York.
Zach, purpose or accident?
I mean, that's assault, isn't it? That's assault, isn't
Well,
it?
no, she's in the way.
Well, I mean, she smiled the whole time. She cheered as he ran away.
She was still cheering. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if it's on purpose or not. All right. Let's see. Go back. Oh, so Dartmouth. Y'all don't know about Dartmouth. This is the biggest thing to happen in college basketball and college sports. Dartmouth takes the position. I'll read it for you folks that like to read. Oh, let's go to this one. This will be better. Not JP. Dartmouth takes the position. The petition for basketball players are not employees within the meaning of the act and submits to the petition should be dismissed. In addition, Dartmouth takes the position that the board should decline to assert jurisdiction over the basketball players so as not to create instability in labor relations. So Dartmouth, blah blah blah. They're in a court battle. The court ruled that Dartmouth men's basketball players are employees, and now they can go forward with creating a union, which means the rest of college basketball and all the basketball players and all of college athletes now, according to this ruling, can now create player unions in their sports to protect themselves and whatever else they want to do, however you want to word that. But that's the ruling, so we'll see if that ends up going to the Supreme Court. But as of right now, they are ruling them as employees, and with everyone getting paid, and they've all been getting. I mean, all of Alabama's LSU players and Clemson players have been employees for quite a few years now. I think that legalized that this is where it's going to end up going because there's too much. You know, they just can't let them do the things they're doing right now, and for some of the stuff because it's. There's a lot of behind the scenes thing. I know there's a lot of lawsuits. It's got to be waiting.
So what's the end game here?
The players want to form a union.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay.
They're probably wanting the like what Terry's talking about, or when he talks about naming, just like this, the lower guys getting their money too, and making sure that they get some money.
Very similar to what baseball did with
Collective bargaining.
players, minor leagues trying to get money and stuff like that. Vice versa.
The problem is when you do the cap wrong or however you do it, if you do it per team wise, say like in I don't know, you're not going to be able to.
What's going to stop basketball? Sorry to interrupt.
No,
What's
you're
going to
fine.
stop basketball? What's going to stop this from staying just in basketball?
No, this is all of them.
You're going to have cross country runners wanting to get their cut.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Correct.
It is. It's going to be everybody.
But the track guys, they're viewed as independent contractors for the most part, are they not?
I mean, we don't. I'm saying this as a former Division I cross country. We don't draw except unless you're University of Oregon.
But we're gonna be sitting there with the WNBA. We want more money. We want to play like the NBA players.
We had a guy at App that was competing for the Olympic relay team.
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't quite make the Olympics, but he was on all the pre-trial.
They got the trials and everything.
So and he raced at App. So he's over. Everybody knows he's getting money. He's getting paid. His deals are in the paper. How much he gets paid, and he's still on the App track team.
Right.
But the quarterback can't get paid, or the cheerleader can't get paid. So how is that? And then the golfers, if they take a dime of anything, the amateur stuff is so.
Did you hear Tiger's story? Have you heard when he was at Stanford? So Tiger, he had already met Arnold Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
So Palmer invites him to dinner, like fancy steakhouse. He's still at Stanford. Well, Palmer picks up the tab for the young up and coming golfer. So Tiger's getting ready to go to regionals. NCAA finds out that Palmer took him out to eat. They are going to revoke his amateur status because it was an inappropriate benefit of being an athlete. Mm-hmm. So Tiger has to write a check to Palmer. NCAA wants proof that Palmer deposits the check or cashes the check with his bank. They has to fax copies of all that back to NCAA so that Tigers. I mean, it's absurd.
Bruce Pearl at Tennessee got in the same problem for a hot dog cookout. Hot dog.
I was thinking somebody did bought cheeseburgers. Was it Harbaugh?
It was Pearl.
Was it Pearl?
That was
Tennessee.
That was President Trump.
He bought cheese. He was
McDonald's.
But yeah, Bruce Pearl got in trouble at Tennessee for
that's
hot dog cookout.
I'm not say what you want. I don't know what side of the aisle you like. In the midst of the pandemic, McDonald's. That spread was pretty impressive. That was a pretty impressive spread. But
it's just ridiculous on them.
Well, and to your point, Kevin, your guy at App. That's a well-performing athlete. Mm-hmm. That's a fantastic, and he's in an Olympic trial. If that's somebody they want to compensate, with Tara Wilson's young lady who swam with my wife at Gardner Webb, she made the Olympic trials. You know, if she's able to capitalize on it, if somebody wants to support her, fantastic. I did not, as an athlete, I can almost guarantee you, I did not add to Gardner Webb University's bottom line athletically.
Well, correct. So I don't mind. So this is the problem.
You don't have to say correct to that. You know,
but so Cody Zeller, for an example. All right, in the NBA, because there is a floor, right, or whatever, and for when you do the caps and stuff, and the way they did the basketball was they was trying to keep one star on a team, and so they brought the floor up to pay the lower guys more.
Yeah.
When you pay the subs $10 million, they don't dive for balls. You understand? They don't hustle as much when there's $10 million on the line. Am I going to dive and bang my elbow over that loose ball?
Am I going to dislocate my elbow?
And that could be a $100 million contract?
Yeah.
No. So does that trickle down into college sports to where, say, probably not on the big teams because you got so many people, but so
it already is.
So for what I'm saying with the track and field guys, they want to make sure that everybody gets a little bit of the pie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you bring the floor up too high, then you're gonna change the sports to where
they're not going for it.
You're not gonna do the small things, and that's what's different when all those other different sports, the non-major sports. If you don't hustle and swimming, well, you drown. That's the extreme of it. But you're not gonna do good.
And I don't know where the line is. There's much more thought to this that needs to go into it. But there's a line that you need to. There are some people who I didn't deserve compensation. I was just grateful for the opportunity to be able to say I was a Division I athlete. And you're going to have those people out there. And that's that and the scholarship. That's their compensation. But again,
I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So you talking about the scholarship?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But also, and I'll say, you and Tom and I talked about this months ago in the midst of football season. I'm still not going to fault somebody.
Where'd you go to school?
High school or college?
Oh, college.
Gardner Webb.
What's the tuition at Gardner Webb?
Right now?
Right.
Close to 50.
What's tuition at App?
Like what, $200? Yeah.
I would say 35, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, probably.
App?
Mm-hmm.
Inflation's tough, man.
Are you serious? That was like what Duke was when I was in college, $23 grand.
When
in-state's only $7 grand. What are you talking about?
Yeah, my freshman
All
year.
right, so real quick.
Go ahead.
I'm going to ask you this question.
Yeah.
Would you have rather have the $200,000 scholarship or a $28,000 scholarship and $170,000 in your pocket?
Oh, that's easy. Now, if apples to apples were even,
that's what I just I just asked you the money. I'm not talking any school, anything else.
Give me that edge. Give me that edge. Now, in retrospect, me saying that, yeah. I mean, if we're just talking dollar bills, yeah. Now, and I say that,
and that's my point when you're talking about raising the money up and you didn't add anything to it or you didn't deserve anything. However you want to look at that. Yeah. What I'm saying is that every scholarship isn't the same.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And what you did or did, I'm not whatever. You can sleep at any school you want and through your classes. Carolina, and Shannon sat here and try to give me Carolina's a better education than Appalachian or Gardner Webb, and that's how people look at it. And I'm like, I don't think so, but I know for a fact on TV they got fake classes. So how can you sit there and tell me that that they got a better education based on what school you went to? And I think all that's hullabaloo as far as that goes. But what I'm trying to say to you is that. Yeah. I personally would rather have the $170 grand, and we got the same degree, and I got $170 grand in my pocket.
Arguably, and there could be.
Think about you're not real quick.
Yeah.
And this was my point with Terry a long time ago on the paying the kids. Not everybody's in a situation where you have good parents or a good house or a good home. And not everybody is in. And then say a professional, so a guy in wrestlers in college could probably make way more in their lives as college wrestlers in IL than you go professional wrestling, right?
And you made
unless you be a
major guy.
There's no like Greco wrestling.
Yeah, right. You made that point months ago. And we were talking about it too. That there are some of those that they're gonna max out what their earnings in college.
As opposed to a professional in that sport.
But I also will not. I'll still go to the argument that I'm not going to penalize a student. Even if it's a Bronny James, even if it's a Shadur Sanders, if there are people who want to invest in that young man with their own free capital, call me a patriot or American or a drink the Kool-Aid American. I'm not going to penalize them, or I'm not going to say they can't do that. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm going to let somebody do what they want to with their money.
Terry, you were talking about conferences wins, big conference tournament wins since 2000. Number 1,
ding 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 ding.
ACC.
Because we advance.
Number 2,
farther.
Big 10.
I mean,
number 3, Big East. Number 4, Big 12. Number 5, SEC.
To your point, Zach, we're going to have to that's where the rubber meets the road this year. We're going to be upset. Now, yes, we'll have fewer teams, but we need our percentage.
It happened last year and the
It
year
did.
before.
It
We're
did.
sitting there at the end. We got all our teams, and we only got like 5. I think we got 5 last year.
After beating Duke, Carolina loses to Clemson. And Chip, did you see what Baycock said?
I'm scared. No, I haven't. I'm scared to see what he said.
There were ominous warning signs before the game, including players showing up late to the game. To the game.
They said people were sleeping
Late
in.
to pregame warm-ups.
Yep.
They didn't practice hard in the week.
What the?
He said that before that game, he said the ACC runs through him, and then he got beat.
Not anymore. Not this week.
So there's your.
If you can't defend your own home turf, I don't. And those are Division I athletes right there. Doggone it.
Can I mention
you
something
can
else
mention
while we're
whatever you
talking
want,
about
sir.
Carolina?
Do the little things.
Every week I come in here and I tell people Michael Jordan was average. And people want to criticize what I say.
I'm channeling Tom right now. Keep
That's
going,
what I'm
Terry.
saying.
Keep
That's the
going,
reason
Terry.
I'm saying.
Keep going, Terry.
But the other day when they throw it up as graphic, R.J. Davis, Joel Berry are in the same boat as Michael Jordan. Because R.J. Barrett just passed Michael Jordan in scoring for Carolina.
In 4 years, Jordan played 3.
I don't care. I do not care.
Okay, here we go.
I do not care.
Wait a minute, Terry. Are you saying
I am saying
that R.J. Davis
is as good as Michael Jordan.
is the next Michael Jordan?
Joel Berry
So-
is as good as Michael
Are
Jordan.
you saying in 30 years I'm going to be wearing a shirt with
You will.
R.J. Davis'
R.J.
logo right
Davis
here on my
is on.
shirt?
You're right. That's what I'm saying.
R.J. Davis is right here. Zach.
He's going to have the Dribble Man logo. The Dribble Man
So
logo.
when people tell me that Michael Jordan was one of the greatest, he was a good player, but he was average.
You talking about in college?
In college. He is the greatest player of all time. I will say that, bar none. Don't ever get me wrong. I like him. I think he did well. I think he become a man who absolutely is going to win if he's out there. But in college, he was an average player. If you put R.J. Davis and Joel Berry in the same category as you mentioned in Michael Jordan, he's average. And then when you go back on Carolina's all-time list, in top 10s, whether it's rebounds, steals, points, etc., assists, everything you want to throw out there, Michael Jordan's only listed twice in any of them things in the top 10
if you're doing,
for Carolina.
If you're doing career totals, he's not going to be on there. You've got to do average per season to make it a legitimate argument. He was there for 3 years.
If you go to North
But
Carolina
Hansbrough
State
was there
and you
for
mention
4.
David Thompson, he's up there in the top 10 in about every category you go across.
How many years did Thompson go to school at State?
I mean, come on. Get real.
I mean, this is simple math. I used to work at a bank. This is simple math.
Well, you're not sitting beside anyone who wants to do anything with simple
All I
math.
said, when you say R.J. Davis and Joel Berry, they in the same category as Michael Jordan.
So what was the stat?
Does
I
R.J.
can't-
Davis
Points.
total?
Yeah,
career?
points.
Yeah.
When they threw that up there, I said, jing, 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 jing. I was going to
I'm
text
sorry,
Tom
what
real
did you do?
quick.
What did you do again?
That's what I was going to do. My little counter meter was just clicking.
He makes sure people got hall passes and not hats on.
Well, we had Hat Day Friday. Forget it. Forget it. We had Hat Day Friday.
I'm trying to. Why would there not be a easily searchable lit?
I'm trying to do the same thing.
I can only get the top 10 scores in North
Carolina's
Carolina.
got a top 10 in list of everything.
All right, scoring all time.
Not top 10, buddy.
Tyler Hansbrough
Number
played for
1.
4 years.
Right.
Phil Ford played for 4 years. Sam Perkins played for 4 years. Armando Baycott's played for 8 years. No, I'm just kidding.
It's about that long.
He's played a lot. The first player that's only played for 3 years and has most points, Lenny Rosenbluth.
Is that not Michael
Al
Jordan?
Wood.
I mean, not
Al
Michael
Wood,
Jordan?
4 years.
Not Michael Jordan?
Charlie Scott played for 3 years. Larry Miller.
Yeah, he's
played
not
for-
in the top 10. Forget it.
But more than half of these guys
But you
played
just
4
got through
years.
naming players who played 3 years.
But that's not all 10 of them. That's not. You're talking about top 10.
You were saying top 10, and you just got through naming players in that top 10 who played 3 years.
Yes, he's not.
Okay.
He might not lead them. That doesn't mean that he is So points is the only thing you measure.
No,
by.
I measure it all the way across.
And we gotta
Assists,
be-
steals,
but we gotta be-
rebounds,
But
everything
we got to be
that you can
we
do.
got to
in
be fair
basketball.
too. Who was on the team with him too? Like
You
you
know.
got a James Worthy sitting on the team, and you
Yep.
got a Perkins sitting on the team
Okay,
that's
there's
going to be
always
And you have to look at
alternatives.
the coach's philosophy. Smith's philosophy was not to have any
One
one
person.
person dominate.
Well, he shouldn't have when you had the
Man.
talent that they had on that team.
Yes.
All right, so Terry's just being silly, and he
Yes.
knows
I'm
it.
not being silly.
Because here's the thing: he knows their offense was designed to feed through the power forwards. Look at the
Yes.
power forward. Look at the scores on
And
that
the
list.
center.
Read the scores on the list.
Yeah.
That's when
played-
the center used to be something.
I played in the Carolina offense. I went to Carolina basketball school. I learned the Carolina offense. I know exactly what the offense does. Everything revolves. Shooting from the outside is the last
Last.
resort
Although
It
in a
is.
Carolina Tar
It
Heel
is.
To
basketball.
be fair, Kevin, to be fair, the number 2 guy is a point guard.
Right.
Uh-huh.
He used to be. Yeah, he was
What-
number 1 for a while.
Yeah.
But it's designed. Well, who's the guy that's got the ball in his hand? Chip.
Yeah, right. Well, I'm just saying it goes. And Phil was one. Probably Smith would probably argue he was his best point
Yeah,
guard.
and I'm true. Michael was a 2 or 3 guy, on the court. I mean, that's what he was. He wasn't a 1. No, I'm talking about positions.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 through 5. Michael was a 2 or 3. He never was the 1. He never was the point guard.
Yeah.
Right.
You know
No,
what
he
I'm
wasn't.
saying?
No.
He was never he was not normally the facilitator.
Because this is what you tell LeBron fans. At no point do I want him passing the ball unless he's double teamed or triple teamed and someone's wide open.
I mean, to me, right there, Kevin Hastings is as good as Michael Jordan.
Oh my gosh!
There you go.
No offense, Kevin, but oh my gosh!
Two goats meeting right there. I can take you that tree right there. That was what I was talking about, Terry. Where we met Bill Guthridge, and then the year after Guthridge started. Well, 98. Well, this is 99 when Guthridge started. But it was fun. Or no, it was 97, 98. This was Dean's last year, I believe.
And that's a cool picture right there.
I love
Yeah,
it.
it is.
That's
pretty
what
cool.
I'm
It's
saying.
Sitting down there down the
Yeah.
hallway. Zach, I guess you can't see him yet. Let's see if Zach can tell. Zach, what kind of shoes I got on?
Barclays.
Yep. Charles Barkley.
I tried to
The
find them. You
CB30
can't find them.
There's the CB34s.
And he's sitting in a
can't find 'em
Carolina
on mine.
uniform.
Our
Oh, Lordy.
yeah, Jordan would have kicked me out of that photo, wouldn't he?
If you're doing what?
Jordan would have kicked me out of that photo.
That's right.
Our middle school team's the Vols, so I had the orange.
Oh.
That's why we had. Me and Moose had the orange Barkleys.
Yeah.
And a couple of the other ones did too, but
I just got the
not the black and purple ones.
I
so
just
had
got
to
the
get white
Shaq
ones.
Superman pumps a couple weeks ago.
But yeah, Terry knows good and well that offense is not designed for the shooting guard to score on that offense. Anton Jameson, Brad Daugherty's on that list. Mondo Baycock, Sam Perkins, and Tyler Hansbrough, none of which you would say would be leading. It's basically the best power forwards that's ever played for him, except James Worthy somewhere on there too. Naismith Players of the Year. Terry, is this okay to be on this list with David Thompson, Larry Bird, Ralph Sampson, Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson?
David Thompson.
I said him.
Did you? I didn't hear that.
Then I skipped a bunch of fake players.
We don't have to.
We
Later
skipped a
don't
bunch
count.
of fake players like Christian Leitner and
You don't
Danny
count.
Ferry.
Kristen Leitner.
And Coward
Shane
Chase
Battier.
and Joe Smith. Then Duncan. Then, of course, Anton
Joe
Jameson.
Smith was pretty good in college.
Joe Smith was good.
He was
A
Yes,
lot
in
of
he
them.
college.
was.
Danny Manning was a force.
I mean, that's what I'm
Remember,
saying. There's a lot of difference
you played with
between
Maryland,
college
right?
and the NBA.
Remember X-Ray Hip? Played
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Maryland. He went
Yes,
to
I
play
do.
with the Globetrotters.
He
didn't
was a
Yeah, he
Globetrotter.
played with the Harlem
Yes, he was.
Globetrotters.
All right. Let's finally, real quick.
David Thompson is considered one of the greatest players in the history of the Atlantic Coast Conference. Among such talents as Ralph Sampson, Tim Duncan, Christian Leitner, Tyler Hansbrough, and Michael Jordan.
Well, he is last.
Ralph Sampson.
There you go.
No, he's actually